What is up, guys? Happy Halloween. I am JP. And I've replaced Ryan with Sam. So, new co-host.
Ryan is here. I don't think you guys can tell, but we picked a certain movie. Maybe you're familiar with it?
Never heard of it.
Trick or Treat.
Sweet. And this is Ryan's pick this week for Halloween. This is, obviously, he really digs this film.
Yes. Without a doubt. This is a great film. 5 stories kind of running simultaneously. Lots of fun happening. Little bit of a pacing issue for me, but outside of that, we're good. Because it all had to make sense.
All righty. The end. Episode over.
Yes.
All right. Let me open up some info on this. Oh, I actually did get a plot summary for this one. And it's a short one. Trick or Treat weaves together 4 interconnected Halloween-themed stories in a small Ohio town. 5.
That plot summary is wrong.
That plot summary is wrong. The anthology film follows the serial killer, Dylan Baker, facing a trick-or-treater's revenge. The college student searching for the perfect Halloween date. A group of pranksters ill-fatedly tormenting the local outcast.
Okay, yeah. Rhonda, yep.
The grumpy old man, played by Brian Cox.
Mr. Krieg. With
a dark secret.
Mm-hmm.
These tales are tied together by Sam, a mysterious mass trick-or-treater who enforces the rules of Halloween, ensuring those who break them face terrifying consequences. Written and directed by Michael Dougherty, Trick or Treat is a celebration of Halloween's dark spirit.
Oh, I didn't realize I covered up your movie.
Oh, well, you can leave him there.
I have to form that face out a little bit. But anyways, this is what Sam looks like if you haven't seen it. So yeah, we'll put that there. But essentially, Sam is the main focal point of all of Trick or Treat, of this movie. And
well, he's the spirit of Halloween.
Yes, that was where I was going to go. And his rules are pretty simple. And if you stick to it, you're going to be okay. You're going to enjoy your Halloween. But if you don't, he'll mess you up. That's pretty much, there you go. That's really it. That's it. Done.
Yeah.
No. So this is pretty cool. So to me, there's a storyline of 5 different things going on. There's the virgin who is trying to find her first time, or what you think in the beginning. There's the kids with the prank in the haunted school bus. There's Sam himself and the Halloween rules. I feel like that's a story within itself. The serial killer principal. And Mr. Creek. So that's kind of, those are the 4 outside of Sam. But then Sam
we also
himself.
have the opening couple.
Oh yeah. They're the rule breakers that we set the example with to start. So yeah, it's interesting how this movie starts moving along, and the way that everyone's so interwoven together. I really enjoyed it. I really JP and I had a great conversation actually prior to us starting filming, and it was, oh, by the way, Happy Halloween, everyone. What the hell? What are we doing?
I started with Halloween.
I couldn't hear. Probably.
Yeah, you were deaf.
It's fucking Halloween. So hopefully you guys got out. You got some adult candy, or let's
adult Halloween.
Well, I was gonna say edible, some gummies, whatever works for you. Hopefully the kids are all hitting on their candy fix right now, and you're getting their wind down a little bit and have parent time right now. But anyways, for Halloween, I felt this was definitely the most appropriate film. And man, I just love the way everything ties together. But our conversation prior to this was, is Sam worthy of being a horror icon? And to me, I say yes, even though there's only one film here. JP doesn't think so yet, but he's not ruling it out.
I think his character has become iconic.
Yes.
I just don't think that he doesn't have but one film. I think it's hard to call him a horror icon. I think his character is iconic, but does he deserve to be next to Michael Myers and Voorhees and Krueger and Chucky and Pinhead when it took these guys, 4, 5, 6, 10, 15 films to have that status,
I would say I would go as far as to say that he's a horror icon in the realm of cult classics, because this film was not a magical.
No,
people did not receive this well. People didn't even know what was going on with it.
This was a direct to DVD movie.
Yeah, so to me, this one is worthy of that title, and there's some good stuff to learn from it. And I'm going to start off with this whole spiel. I'm going to read off Sam's trick or treat rules so that you guys can maybe make sure you're practicing those this evening. The first one: always wear a costume. This guy. The second one: always pass out treats to trick or treaters. That's simple enough. I guess you can. Sure, that's a treat. The next one: never blow out a jack-o'-lantern before midnight. Next one: always check your candy. Next one: always respect the dead. There's 2 more. Last 2 are: never take down your decorations before November 1st. And the last one's: never hurt the innocent. So keep those things in mind as you trick or treat this evening, or the spirit of Halloween's going to come visit you. And that doesn't mean me. If I come over, I'm just drinking all your beer.
So what was your initial reactions?
The first time I saw this, I was confused as fuck. There was so much happening initially, and it was one of those ones that as I rewatched it, and it's one of those good feel movies in the sense of, it's still a horror film, but it's a good feel movie in the sense of when you're done with the movie, you're still thinking through the movie. And I like that. I like a movie that keeps you thinking about it after you've seen it. So my initial reaction was it checked off all the boxes for me in the storytelling. As the things unravel and you get more intertwined and seeing how all 5 of these stories come together, you really start to appreciate it and the depth of what they went to try and make all this work in this community. So I liked it. I love it.
So the first time I saw this, and I didn't see it right away. This film had been out for a couple of years before I had actually watched it the first time. And it wasn't that I didn't know it existed or anything. It was just whatever reason I didn't watch it right away. And I think because I just thought it was just going to be something dumb, but then when I watched it, I fell in love with this movie. This movie was great. This was not what I expected for the first time I watched it.
Me either.
And I usually have a hard time with some anthology type films, and some of them are really good, and then you have a lot of them. It's just like, eh. But this one was fucking good, start to finish.
Yeah, it was. And one of my favorite parts about this is I don't know how y'all feel about Anna Paquin, but I did not know she was in it. And I watched this movie, and I'm like, whoa, okay, this got way better. She's great, and I like that. So I'm just going to start talking about parts of this, but Anna and her sisters or her friends that are with her, they're trying to, it starts off coming across that they're trying to get her a date so she can lose her virginity. But it's not what you think. She's literally with a pack of werewolves that are women, and they're trying to give her first victim, her first official kill. So that story is unfolding. You've got, we talked about the kids pranking the haunted bus. There's an amazing story about special needs kids on a short bus, essentially. Not an actual short bus, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
These special kids, and essentially the community and parents no longer wanted to deal with them, so they essentially try to dispose of them by crashing them into what was a what's the word I'm looking for?
It was a quarry.
Quarry, thank you. And when that happened, these kids all passed away in a violent death. There was a bus driver that was on that bus, and the bus driver, we don't know what happened to him, and you don't find out till the end. So this prank that happens, there's these other kids that find Rhonda, who seems to be an autistic young lady who is very passionate about her Halloween rules herself. And she thinks that these kids are looking out for her best interest, and she donates her jack-o'-lanterns to be sacrifices for these kids on Halloween that have passed away on this bus. And when they go down there, things turn very eerie, very quick. The lights on these jack-o'-lanterns start going out, and these kids start dying. And before they actually die, though, they all start running back towards this little elevator that takes them into the quarry. And Rhonda's the last one in there, and she won't open the gate because she's scared. And because these kids have pulled a prank on her, essentially. Initially, they pretended to be these kids, and she turns the key, looking at them, and as she goes up, you hear all these kids screaming because of what they'd done to her, and she just walks back to her house like nothing happened.
See, I didn't see that as she was scared. I saw that as
the fuck.
You started playing music.
Did you? But dude,
it's my ghost.
Your ghost. I'm
my
telling
ghost.
you, bro. That was so messed. We're doing the Halloween episode, and your ghost just pressed. And what was the song? Hold on. I don't even have this in my music. It's called "She Starts" by Jolly Joker. I have no idea what the fuck that was creepy. Nope, wasn't the watch. I thought it was the watch. Okay, so yeah. Anyways,
you guys just saw that happen. His fucking Apple Music just started playing. That wasn't like an ad pop up or anything. That was his Apple fucking music. But here's the thing.
That song's not in my fucking library. That's why I'm even more like, what the fuck? I've never heard of the band. Never heard of that song. Not in my library. That's a little messed up.
Oh, that's great. My ghost strikes again.
The last time, for those of you who don't remember, I had sunglasses sitting on the chair to my left where James normally is, and those glasses started moving on their own, and I'm staring at them like I was losing my mind and not realizing what was going on. That's when he decided to tell me, oh, by the way, I've got a ghost.
Yeah, a lot of fucked up shit happens in my house.
We're debating, and chime in the comments, please. Let us know what's going on here. But we're debating getting a medium come in here and
do a Ghost Hunters episode.
Yeah, that'd be fun, I think.
So anyway,
no, I'm stuck on the ghost. What do you mean anyway? Fucking with my music.
I wanted to talk about this film.
Don't fuck with my music, Ghost. I'm telling you right now. Anyways, go ahead.
I didn't think that she actually didn't open the door because she was scared. I actually thought that she just didn't open it because she was basically saying, screw you guys.
Originally, she put herself in there with the door closed because she was scared, is what I meant.
But she had the opportunity to open it.
Definitely knew what she was doing when she went up.
Yes.
That she was looking down very like, you guys fucked with me, you guys did this, this is what you deserve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the short story with Anna Paquin, I fucking love. That's my favorite story in this whole thing.
I kind of agree. I love werewolves.
That was where I was going with this. Is I fucking love werewolves, and I love werewolf movies, and I don't think we have enough werewolf movies.
Do you know what I just said to my wife not 2 days ago? I go, when we start doing our Halloween run of watching, because we do the 31 days of Halloween religiously. We watch movies every day, try and find new ones. But for this one, I'm feeling a little nostalgia. The Howling. I want to go back and revisit The Howling.
I love The Howling. I love Cursed.
Cursed is good.
And I love, obviously, the greatest werewolf film ever made.
What say you?
American Werewolf in London.
That's, you know what, I won't say greatest made, but it's pretty amazing. And I'm still a huge fan, original one, of course, of the werewolves from Fright Night.
I like that, and I love the remake of Wolfman.
The Jack Nicholson one?
No, that's the Wolf.
Oh, the Wolf. That's right.
I'm talking about the one with is it Del Toro? That has
I do remember
Anthony Hopkins.
Mm-hmm. I remember. But yeah, that was amazing. That was definitely a good one. The one that was interesting to me, too, the other story was the serial killer principal. So there's a fat kid who's basically taking all the candy. He reads a sign on the principal's front porch that says, basically, just take one. And he's a fat kid he's gorging, and he steals a bunch of the candy, and the principal catches him, has him sit down next to himself, and the kid starts taking a bite out of the candy, and the principal says, "You didn't check your candy," which is one of the rules. And this kid just essentially starts throwing up mass amounts of blood, whatever. Chocolate, yeah. And then he just falls over in the principal's lap, and the principal takes him to the backyard. I like this whole sequence. That's why I was kind of talking about it a little bit. So he's digging a grave, and somebody interrupts him. And
it's his neighbor.
It's his neighbor.
It's Brian Cox's character.
No, what else? I was thinking of a different movie. I mixed it up. But regardless, his neighbor bothers him, and he starts talking to him through the fence. He goes, "What are you doing?" And as he says that, then also the neighbor goes away, goes inside. He's cranky, whatever. He goes, "Tell your kid to stay out of my backyard." And we find out there's a kid with this principal too. And not only is it a serial killer principal, but his son assists him in it. And his son keeps saying, "Dad, I'm ready to carve the pumpkin. Dad, I'm ready to carve the pumpkin." And the pumpkin was the fat kid's head. Downstairs, they wanted to carve the pumpkin. So that was interesting.
And you get the shot in that scene with the neighbor screaming for help.
Yeah, so that comes a few later, though, but he's banging on the window, right?
Yeah, well, you get it from both sides.
Right.
Yeah.
So the final story, the final way that they tell it, Mr. Krieg is the principal's name. Or not the principal, sorry, the neighbor of the principal. And he's an old hermit. He lives by himself. He's cranky. But Mr. Krieg, when we get to him, that was really kind of, honestly, I would say that and the werewolf story are my favorites.
Yeah.
Because his battle with Sam is pretty cool. It's pretty amazing. I like the way it goes back and forth. There were parts where, in the store, when the werewolf girls are all trying on costumes and the little kid's peeking through the door, that's the kid who plays Sam, who's running around as Sam.
Yeah.
So different roles, but he is the two characters. And so in the sequence of the fight, though, you can clearly tell the stunt doubles in there, and definitely a different contorted body of sorts.
Yeah.
But man, is it cool! And when the sack comes off, the burlap sack, and you see the skeleton, that's a pumpkin skeleton.
It's a pumpkin head.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
But Mr. Krieg, you end up finding out, was the bus driver that drove those kids into the quarry, and he survived. And that's why he was such a hermit, and he was such a recluse, because he couldn't bear the shame and what had happened.
And you also get, going back to the werewolf scene, you get the vampire.
Well, it's not an actual vampire.
No, but you don't know that at this point.
Right.
You get the vampire that's killing people out in the middle of the streets and alleys, and then the vampire meets up with Little Red Riding Hood.
Now, rewind. The principal, his exact words to his son, because his son said he wanted to hang out with him, "I can't tonight, son. I've got a date." That's what he says. And so you fast forward, they're on it's a town. It's actually in Ohio. It's a town.
It says Warren Valley, but
it said that. But I don't.
I've looked it up because I was curious. I was like, "Is this a real place?" I couldn't find anything. Obviously, there's Warren, but I couldn't find a Warren Valley, so I don't.
I imagine they made a fictitious city because sometimes that can draw unwanted attention to your city, and I understand that. He goes out and he's essentially dressed up like a Victorian era vampire, if you will, and he starts killing people amongst the parade and everything that's going on. And he runs into Anna Paquin out, and he's trying to do the same thing to her, except for he wakes up essentially in front of the werewolves.
Yeah, she throws him down in front of the bonfire, and
he wasn't asleep. Yeah, he didn't get knocked out. He was awake. He was just screaming.
And he's screaming, and his teeth come out, and you see he's really not a vampire. And then you see all of them start, and that transformation scene.
I was just gonna say that
these girls are literally dancing around a bonfire, ripping their flesh off of their arms and their bodies, and just it's an amazing special effects.
The transformation sequence in that is brilliant. I can't even lie. It is good start to finish. I like the end result of the werewolf too. Not over the top, crazy long snout. It's more simplistic and human formed. But the way they tore off the skin was definitely interesting to watch. And it kind of made me think of when you hear your myth and your lore about skinwalkers, kind of made me feel that vibe too.
Yeah.
So I was here for all that. I definitely would love, and I mean love, a sequel in some way, shape, or form of this.
And it's been talked about for a while. Michael Dougherty, the director, he's tried to do it. He did Krampus, which we reviewed Krampus, and I think that whole time I complained about it being PG-13 and how I wish it was rated R, like Trick or Treat, like this film that he did. And but Michael Dougherty's become a really busy guy, and I don't know if you know why.
I don't.
He is one of the main producers, and he's one of the main writers. And he directed one of them of all the new MonsterVerse with all the Godzilla Kong films. So, like, he directed Godzilla King of Monsters, and he's like the main producer and writer for all of those.
Well, I'll tell you this. So I'm not. That's fine. That's great. That's whatever. But revisiting Trick or Treat, I think he'd be a fool not to do it, especially because it's very clear from this cast that he can attract great talent. They're interested in what he's doing, and it's really clear that he can develop and write a unique original script. I want to see more of that, so I'm more intrigued by that than I am the MonsterVerse that's been done a million times over. I'm always good with monsters.
I would love to see him do part 2 to this. I want to, and a lot of people's, and he's talked about it, and I'm assuming the biggest reason is because he's getting a lot of money thrown at him over Godzilla Kong.
And that's fair. I get it.
But I don't think it's that he doesn't want to revisit it. I think he wants to, and I've read articles where he's talked about wanting to get this sequel off the ground and going.
Did I ever tell you about my oldest daughter when we all watched Godzilla vs. Kong? So it was one of those where you could buy it online and then you could watch it. So we got it the first night it came out, and it was during pandemic. I had all the kids over, so it was all the kids watching this. It wasn't just, and the significant others. When Godzilla starts beating Kong badly, I looked over and Lexi is crying. She's like, no! I was laughing so hard.
Fuck that monkey.
Okay, here's that. I was rooting for Kong myself, but it's whatever.
Team Godzilla.
Yeah, Team Kong. Look at me, I'm a giant fucking gorilla and ape myself. But that aside, though, pleasantly, we brought up Krampus, and we reviewed that before. That's in one of our prior ones, early on, actually. And I loved Krampus. I was not expecting to love Krampus.
Yeah, because when we reviewed that, you had never seen it.
I had never saw it.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is fucking great. And just thinking that he did this and Trick or Treat, obviously, you're talking about MonsterVerse, but those two movies alone are stellar. So yeah, whatever he's doing, I want to see more of it.
Yeah, he's done some really cool shit for sure. I actually wish he would get out away from the Godzilla MonsterVerse right now, but that's a whole nother subject. But I wish he would, because
it's an important one, though.
Yeah,
like we've talked about this time and time again. When you can find directors that write original, wonderful scripts, and you're not doing remakes, and you're not just beating things into the ground that Hollywood wants to see the easy dollar from, I feel we get back to our roots with cinema. I feel we're doing it right.
Well, and the thing is he's stuck working on all these Godzilla and Kong films, but they're getting stale.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting stale. The only thing Godzilla that I've liked out of this new series in a while has been the Monarch TV series.
I didn't finish that. I saw the first season.
Monarch is fantastic, but I think the Monarch series is better than the last two Godzilla Kong films.
I haven't watched the last Godzilla Kong.
It's the same as the previous one. I'm just going. It's just more of the same.
Yeah. But I will tell you this: the -1 film was amazing.
I've not watched -1 yet.
Oh my god!
And
so
I
good.
still need to watch that one.
When you look at, we talk. You talk specifically more than myself about practical effects and how great it is. You look at where they took that movie back to with the budget they had, what they did in making it a Japanese piece again. It was superb. It was so good. I was very impressed with it. So, but
and I know that, and it's one of those it's on my watch list.
I've got a lot,
and it's just I've just not gotten back to it.
So,
and that's unfortunate because I did watch the new Godzilla Kong and not -1.
so those of you tuning in, it being Halloween, if you're in our live chat for this episode, put in the comments. Let us know what some of your favorite Halloween movies are. Let us know some of your favorites through the years, things that impressed you. We'd love to hear. It's always a good conversation topic, and hopefully it's a movie I know nothing about and I'll check out.
Oh, what's some of your favorites? Let's both pick one just
for Halloween purposes.
Yeah,
you're gonna judge me on one of them.
We're gonna do more than one.
I mean, well, I already picked Trick or Treat.
Okay,
pretty standard. But I have another favorite. My cat is actually named after the cat from this one, and it's because it's enjoyable with the family.
Oh, I know where you're going with
Hocus
this.
Pocus.
Hocus Pocus.
And I think James hates that movie, if I remember correctly.
James hates everything.
He does, he's a balanced individual for us.
So, when you selected this film, and I told you this, I'll tell them this, but it's not my pick. But I wanted to pick the 1980s film Trick or Treat that was about the rock and roll guy that.
You told me about this too. You told me about this. Now I gotta check this out.
It has Gene Simmons and Ozzy Osbourne in it, but we couldn't find it streaming anywhere right now, so I opted not to select it for this season. But as soon as it does, because I thought it would be hilarious, he picked Trick or Treat, and I was going to pick Trick or Treat. But I think my selection, and it's not really a Halloween film, but it's a horror film, and I fucking love it. I watch this every year at Halloween just because I fucking love this film. I love Tom Atkins, and it stars Tom Atkins. Fucking Night of the Creeps.
Absolutely love it. Yeah, no, there's no question about it. And I loved Slither as well.
I love Slither.
So similar vibe,
but
sure.
My thing with Night of the Creeps, and I love Tom Atkins, and I love Tom Atkins in that film because he knows what kind of film he's in, and he's overacting and making it like super low budget feeling and campy, and it's so fucking good. I want a shirt that says "Thrill Me" because of Tom Atkins.
So for those of you listening, if you have not seen Night of the Creeps, I second that. It's a great film. I honestly, before you said Atkins, I thought you were going to say Pumpkinhead. But yeah, no, there's just so many, there's just infinite amounts of good Halloween content and movies out there. Horror films in general, they fit the vibe whenever for Halloween. So we're just in a good time of year, and I'm loving it. Looking forward to tonight, because obviously we pre-record this, but looking forward to setting up my fire and handing out candy to the trick-or-treaters and doing the pumpkins with the kids and all that fun. So
yeah, my kids are all grown and not here, so I don't do any of that anymore.
I still got the 11-year-old. He's my youngest, so I gotta keep it going strong. And even then, my wife and I are giant children when it comes to Halloween. We love decorating, love doing all that stuff. So,
and the unfortunate thing is when I first bought this house, like I had my light on and I was excited. I was like, I finally own my own home. I can hand out candy, and we didn't get any trick-or-treaters. And so I was like a little let down. And so like the past couple of years, I've not even bought any. I've bought candy the first couple of years I was here and no trick-or-treaters. And then the past couple of years I haven't bought any because we wasn't getting any. Then I was just sitting around eating candy.
We have a Christmas neighborhood I live in Fairview Park. And the Christmas neighborhood, the street is called Seabury. And Seabury is lit up from one end to the other. So I've got a neighbor across the street from me. Hi, Jason. He goes ham. He goes hard with the Halloween decorations. And so him and I have devised a plan, because I'm really bummed out because he puts so much effort into how beautiful his yard is for the decoration purpose. And he loves handing out candy to all the kids, the whole bit. But we don't get that many kids either. And that's disheartening. We do get, I always call them transplants, and I was guilty of this too when I was younger, but we get people from other neighborhoods that they know it sucks, so they come over and they know there's some big candy bars, all that stuff.
Well, I'm always okay with that, because,
I am too.
Because I mean, I get it. Whenever I was a kid, I could go through my neighborhood in 5 minutes, and if I just stayed in my neighborhood, then, we had to get up and drive to another little development. So
I would literally come back with 3 pillowcases. Yeah. I wouldn't come back till I was done then, because I was a poor kid, so that candy lasted me, and that was I would eat that for food. But anyways, the reason I brought up the Seabury Christmas thing is because Jason and I have a plan to try and maybe get our neighbors on the same page as us to make our street the Halloween version of that Seabury thing. Because, man, it's disheartening. I want to see more kids come through and enjoy it as much as I do. So, I also think we need to regulate adult trick-or-treating.
Bringing it back.
Fuck yeah.
So, back to trick or treat.
Trick or treat.
I
feel like we just had a Han Solo Boba Fett moment.
Yeah.
Boba Fett.
Yeah,
no, this movie, man, I just can't say enough good shit about this. I love that when Sam is having the battle with Mr. Krieg, that when he gets hit, essentially his guts are pumpkin.
Yeah, he gets shot in the head, and like it's just pumpkin seeds and pumpkin
it's
innards
awesome.
of just hanging out of his head, and then his hand kind of does
it just falls off.
His hand starts walking around.
Oh yeah. Does the what was the thing in the Thing, wasn't it? It was called Thing.
Yeah.
In Addams Family.
Adam's Family.
Yeah. I don't know, man. There's so much good stuff. Anna Paquin looks great. For her costume, she settled on they each were a Disney princess. She was Little Red Riding Hood, and I thought that was stellar. That was great. Very fitting to the werewolf woman.
We didn't talk about the opening couple that she blows the pumpkin out.
So her name is Leslie Bibb, and she's gorgeous too.
Yes, and she's been in a lot of different films. And actually, she was in The League.
Oh, the TV show. I'm sorry. I was thinking I went to Major League in my head. I forgot who she was.
She was the main guy's ex-wife.
That's right.
Yeah, and she shows back up later with her older boyfriend.
I told you I started rewatching that. I got halfway through season 2 and I stopped. I gotta go back.
Yeah. Oh, she comes back.
Yep.
Yeah, she does return.
I think I'm right up at what's his name? Why am I having a brain fart? Rafi, right when he starts hooking up with the woman who's living in Ruxton's house.
Yeah,
the nanny.
Yeah, you know who the nanny is?
You told me this before.
It's Brie Larson.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Oh,
forgot about that. That's why I kind of was annoyed by her.
Yeah. So she blows out the pumpkin, and the boyfriend goes in, and she's outside tearing down decorations, and he's telling her to wait, and well, here comes Sam.
Well, Sam was across the street.
And he was across the street.
What's funny is...
this movie starts at the end of the film. And it comes back around, yeah.
So the final story is the one with Mr. Krieg, as we discussed, the bus driver. So there's a moment... Mr. Krieg, by the way, he has... his fate is not by Sam, even though they have this giant battle. His fate is actually... once the kids from the bus come out on that night, and... they have the opportunity, they actually go to the house and find him. So Sam and him, while they're battling, he ends up, doesn't he give Sam candy?
A piece of candy falls on his chest, and Sam takes his sucker and hits, like he's going to slash him, but then he hits the candy, the candy sticks to his sucker, and he walks off eating his candy.
Because he's been given candy, though. He fulfilled one of the rules, so Sam stops his quest to
kill him.
And as he walks out of the house, and he goes and he stands by the tree in front of Mr. Krieg's house, he looks across the street and sees the couple coming back. And the guy, I know that guy. Do you know where that guy's from?
You know, I recognize him, but I didn't look him up to see.
I didn't either, but he follows the rules, and he's argumentative with his wife and saying, we can't blow those out yet. I don't want to take decorations down. What are you doing? I want to give candy out. And she coaches him away from that by saying, go put the videotape on and basically watch porn. He goes inside, puts the tape on, but he dozes off. So when he wakes up and he comes outside, his wife is she's not in the best shape, we'll just say that. She has a sucker shoved in her mouth. This was just forced into her mouth.
Yeah, I'm looking up that guy's IMDb now because he's in Man of Steel. He's in a few things. Altered Carbon.
I remember that from that. Was that... yeah, that was the one with the guy who played RoboCop, I think.
Supernatural.
Yep.
He was in Supernatural.
He was in a movie, though.
Yeah, there's a movie. That's what I was trying to find.
I watched a lot of Sci-Fi Channel movies, so it's probably, I think it's something like that. Something cheesy. The Killing. I know that one show, too.
Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of stuff. He was in Smallville. He was in Battlestar Galactica.
That's what I remember from. It was Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
I remember the uniform, the whole bit.
So, yeah, he's in a number of things, and he's got a weird name.
As you watch this movie, as you watch Trick or Treat, you'll see the cast.
Tama Pennicott. I'm not even sure if that's the correct pronunciation.
Tamo?
Tama. I think I'm reading it as Tama.
Tomato. Sorry.
Ketchup.
Tomato. I don't know, man. If you're vibing Halloween, though, make sure you check this one out tonight. Put it on after the kids go to sleep. You might enjoy it.
Or let the kids watch it.
You know what's funny about that? Before we bring this to a close, I made a deal. Noah came to me. Noah's been playing Call of Duty Zombies. And he goes, Dad, am I cool to watch The Walking Dead? And I go, yes, but you have to watch a zombie movie with Dad first because he hates horror films. And I have to fix this. And so I'm all picked out. I'm going for Dawn of the Dead remake because that's when the zombies are running fast. It's more brutal. There's emotion involved. I'm a fan of it. So I was going to play that for him. This little shit went by my back and he started watching a couple episodes because he didn't want to have to watch the zombie movie. And the reason I picked that movie is because I showed my stubborn daughters, first scary movies I showed them were The Exorcist and the original Night of the Living Dead. And they didn't even budge. They're like, Dad, this is what you were scared of when you were a kid? This zombie, they're black and white, they're slow. I'm like, all right, assholes. And I put on the Dawn of the Dead thing. They both had the blankets up over the nose, like, what's going on? Why? No, what's going on now? I can't look. Doing that crap.
Make them watch Train to Busan.
Oh my God, that's great. That's you know what? That was one of those movies I put on the back burner and just put on probably like 2 months ago and watched for the first time.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, Train to Busan.
There's a sequel that I've got lined up to see.
Peninsula. Yeah. Peninsula's not as good.
Okay.
I like Peninsula, but it's nowhere near as good as Train to Busan.
Zombie movies always rule. I'm good.
But yeah, it's both films are worth it. You know, they're remaking Train to Busan for America. It's like Train to New York or something is what it's called.
Leave shit alone.
Yeah, and Train to Busan's a perfect film. I mean, it really is.
What I'm talking about, dude. There's no reason for all these remakes and bullshit. Yeah.
Unless we're talking about the 1980s Blob. That's the one remake.
Oh, the Night of the Living Dead one's not bad. I'll take that.
Yeah, there's a few.
There's a few
remakes.
A few. Well, idea. We'll do a remix episode. Actually, you know what? Our friend Rick has been covering a lot of that stuff. He's been talking about remakes too.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to jack his vibe, but maybe we'll bring him on for that one. We'll
probably could.
Rick. That'd be cool. All right. Well, I hope you guys are having an amazing Halloween, and you know we love horror and we love our films. So it really means a lot to us that you chose to share this night with us. If you're tuning in now, and if you're just listening in the future, happy belated Halloween. But if you have any commentary, any suggestions, any things you guys are hoping to see out of us in the future, 3cinenerds@gmail.com is the email to email us with those suggestions. And we have merch and your audible listening pleasures available on our Facebook homepage in the link tree under our bio.
We're going to do ratings?
God damn it.
I'll let you do all that. Yes, I did.
And I'm going to watch this video and I'm going to see his fucking mug smiling at me the whole time for that one. This movie's amazing. There you go. There's my rating.
So this movie is great, and this is definitely a movie that I like to revisit every October. There's a handful, like I said, Night of the Creeps is one. This is one. There's a few others that I always revisit. Most of the time, and I hate to admit this because I like to revisit Hocus Pocus as well.
See? I know people that just hate that movie for some reason.
I enjoy it. It's fine.
Sisters?
I mean, I even like Halloween Town, so...
That one was so cheesy. My kids loved it, so it meant a lot to me. So I get it.
Yeah. So, but this movie it's damn solid. It's solid all the way, start to finish. I mean, I can't say too much negative about it. There's a few things I could probably point out, but you know what? They're not even that important. This is a solid 4 movie. Solid 4.
I'm going to go 4.5 nerds. Go up a little bit higher than that because, again, it's Halloween. This is a Halloween movie. I'm here for it. I've watched this movie probably, I don't know, a dozen times or so at this point, and I've never once been upset with it, rethought it, overanalyzed it, looked into it, and found a flaw that really upset me or anything, and that says a lot to me about a movie and the quality of the film. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with that 4.5 nerds.
Alrighty. Well, since he already did his 3 CineNerds at gmail.com, I want to tell you, write a review, invite your friends. Let's stay active.
Here's the big one. The big one. Please, for the only thing I can ever ask you guys, and it's free. It's the easiest thing to do in the world. Share us, talk about us, spread the word, and help us out a little bit. We appreciate it. We want to reach some new audiences.
Because Facebook limits us, and they're kind of holding us back from even reaching people on our page. So the more you share, the more.
Yeah, and unfortunately, if you're not paying, the algorithm's it's not suited to you. So we like to try and we're a loner, Dottie, a rebel, and we want to see the word of mouth go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween.